black hoodie, I'm back cooking these goodies. Look at these views from cooking these foods, yeah.
What is going on, you guys? Back with another mukbang video today. We're doing Domino's pizza. You've seen this on here before, but I, for some reason, can't stop watching pizza videos on the internet. Specifically one, the Barstool Sports guy. He just takes one bite. He tries everything across New York. He just takes like one bite and then rates it or whatever. But I just kept watching those videos and I was like, I need to eat pizza. And since he's a New Yorker, in honor of that, I had to get the Brooklyn style pizza from Domino's. So let's crack into that. I also have a story time today that is going to be kind of a little bit more heavy. It is suicide related, and just coming off the heels of that video regarding Mac Miller and just talking about mental health and just, you know, that feeling of maybe, you know, opening up dialogue and being able to talk to people and, you know, share your true feelings about how you're feeling about life in the world and things like that. There's this story that I have that's really close to me, but at the same time, it's like not that close to me. And that'll all kind of make sense at the end of it. But this is a situation that happened in my life that I've always felt really like weird about it and not really known how to feel about it, I guess you should say. But it happened sort of to me in a sense, and I feel like just like sharing it and my opinions and views and everything on it would be a good thing to do. So if you can't handle topics like this, then click off the video. If you want to hear it, then stick around. All right, let's get in here, see what we're working with. Drop the top on that. Just gonna set up a dipping napkin over here. Of course, we have the Valentina. Gonna make some pools for sauces. Obviously, we got the ranch, Hidden Valley. And today I'm going in a whole nother level, Sweet Baby Ray's. We're gonna barbecue it too, maybe a little bit. There's just something about barbecue pizza and sauce that I do quite enjoy. Let's get in for a little close checkup on here. I got them to do extra cheese, and it has pepperoni underneath as well. Brooklyn style pepperoni, which is like big pepperoni. Let's go for a sauceless bite. I wish it had more of a pull. Let's go for a barbecue. Close up for you guys. That late night crave bite. That rhymes. Late night crave bite. Lit. Valentina. Just something about hot sauce on pizza. It just works so well. And of course we have to ranch. And then a cross section. That's that crossbreed. The ranch Valentina. All right, so the story regarding this suicide that happened very close to me. Starts by meeting the girl in high school. So we met in high school. I was in grade 11. She was in grade 9. And how we became friends was that, I don't know how it was like in your guys' high schools, but in my high school there was always different like segments of types of people. Jocks, burnouts, goth weirdos, nerds, music bandies. And I'd say with where I hung out, because I was into smoking weed a lot when I was in high school, I was kind of the, I guess if you want to call burnout type crew, but weed enthusiast, more or less. But yeah, I hung out with people who were in the areas where you would smoke weed and cigarettes and all that type of stuff. And so at least in our group, I found that where we were at any given time, you would have people from every grade, starting from 9 to 12. So a lot of the people you would meet that were in that area were like-minded to you, but they could have been from grade 12 to 9. So you find yourself meeting and hanging out with people from every grade. So it's just kind of like a mixed bag of ages. And nobody there was like really too... I think that was cool about where I was at school. I don't know if it happened where you were, but we didn't so much care about how old you were, what grade you were in. If you hung out in the area that we hung out, then you were cool, and like if we liked you, then you're cool. Like it just didn't really matter. So as we over the years, we would hang out from time to time, party together. I ended up seeing two of her like best friends for a while, like just obviously in different years, but we got to all know each other pretty well. And she actually kind of dated my stepbrother for like a little bit as well. So that's where our relationship was established. So obviously, as you guys know, later in life, I would eventually move to Toronto. And periodically, I would go back home to visit, mainly in the summertime. And so in this specific case, it was the summertime. And so at this point, I had been living away from home for about 4 years. I hadn't seen her in at least that amount of time, maybe longer, 5, 6 years. And so obviously when you go back home, when you visit in summertime, you go and hang out with friends and go to parties and stuff, and you end up bumping into people that you used to go to high school with and stuff like that. So I'm home visiting. It's like a Friday night, and these two other girls that I was good friends with, they're like, yo, we gotta hang out with you when you're in town. We'll roll through, scoop you up at like, I don't know, 7 o'clock. And then we'll just go like kind of find various shit to do. And also, we know of a party tonight that we could probably roll to. So I was like, cool, sweet. So that's what we do, hanging out, blah, blah, blah. Started drinking at a point. Eventually, it's like later in the night. End up at this dude's house for a party. I actually know him from back in the day as well. And he lived like kind of just on the edge of town where like he had like a pretty big backyard where you could have like fires and stuff. So he was having like a big backyard party with a fire. Sort of roll in, we roll in. And then, you know, as you do, you're making your way around the party, kind of seeing like who's there. And all of a sudden I see this girl that I'm talking about that I went to high school with. So we see each other, we're like, whoa, no way, like what's up? Oh my God, like this is nuts. How are you? I haven't seen you in like forever. Like it's just that whole thing that you do when you see somebody you haven't seen in forever that you used to be like pretty cool with and tight with and shit, but you know, your lives just went a little bit of a separate way and that's life. So her and I get to talking and hanging out. And then at a certain point, her and I are just like sitting on this log and we're just having like, at this point we've been hanging out for like 2 hours just talking, like catching up and like having like laughs, like jokes, like life talks. And then she was telling me she's been in this serious relationship for a bunch of years now, and her and her boyfriend are kind of having like some difficult times. But outside of that, like she was in great spirits. And as I say spirit, I should say she was also that type of person. She was very like spiritual and like almost had like a hippie vibe in a sense. Like she had a very like just really out there, like just believed in like a lot of vibe and energy and like, you know, star child kind of thing. So anyways, Valentina's got me lit up. Time comes to leave the party. I leave with the other girls that I came with. But, you know, I go home, they go home kind of thing. So, wake up the next day. I wake up late, you know, like 12:30, 1 o'clock, hungover. And I have like 15 to 20 missed calls from the girl that, one of the girls that I was with that brought me to the party. And I'm like this seems excessive, like holy crap, whatever. So I call her and I'm like, yo, like I'm not leaving still for some days yet, like relax, you know, I gotta blow up my line this hard. And she's like, no, I found out early this morning. She's like, I'll just say her name, Steph. She's like, Steph killed herself last night. And I was like, I'm like, what? Like, no, like, coming, like, you're fucking with me. Like, you're, like, don't be an idiot. And she's like, no, 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 for real. We've been trying to get a hold of you all morning. Like, Steph hung herself last night. I just, like, sat there in, like, complete and utter disbelief. And, you know, those like, why, what, how, where, when, like. And she's like, I don't know much detail. It's just that she hung herself at home after the party. She went home and hung herself. And I was just like, so fucked up. Like, for the rest of my vacation or whatever, longer, and even the day. So later, I guess we would find out that her and her boyfriend that night had some crazy, huge argument after the party. Where I don't know if they broke up, or maybe she found out something about maybe he was like cheating, or I don't know what, but that's what was said, is that they had some crazy blowout argument. And then, you know, I guess that happened. So until this day, I've always been carrying around, like, why was I one of the last people she talked to? Like, why in the universal scheme of things, like coincidences or whatever, like, why is it that I was, like, probably one of the last, like, 4 people that she ever talked to? Why didn't, if it was because of her boyfriend, I guess if it happened after the fact, then there's that, but, like, why wouldn't she just, like, we were having, like, really deep talks and, like, life talks and having, like, good times, like, laughing, like, everything was good, right? When we were talking, everything was fine, like, everything seemed fine. Like, I would never assume that she would go home and do that night. There's no way. Like, she was not, you just would never tell. You would never know. You would never fucking know. And I've just always been like, why was I one of the last people that she talked to, and why, like, she couldn't just say something, like, if it was that bad, like, just, you could have just told me, like, it would have been fine, even though, yeah, I know we're not that close, we haven't talked in years, but still, like, we were having a good time, like, she clearly knows, like, I'm not a judgmental person like that, too, so, I don't know, it's always just kind of messed with me, and this is what I mean about this whole topic, is, like, just, you can never see it coming. Like, I was one of the last people to talk to this person alive before she took her life, and I would have never guessed that would happen that night. There's no way I could have had the smallest inclination that would ever occur that night. And that's the thing about this thing with mental health and stuff, is, like, you just never know the depth of, like, the internal battle of somebody, and, like, the fake exterior that they will put on just to make them seem okay to, like, to people around them, and then they do that, like, so, yeah, I just always wish that she had said something, or there would have been, I don't know, something that I could have done, I guess, just being that I was one of the last people that she spent any amount of time with, like, you know, spent most of that party, her and I spent hanging out and talking to each other, just catching up and all that. So, yeah, I just, it's always kind of messed with me, and I just wanted to share that story because it just goes to show, like, you just never know, like, what somebody's dealing with, and even worse, like, they won't bring it up or talk to you because maybe it's too weird or something, right? Like, I don't know. I just wish something could have been different, but keep an eye on those around you that you love, you know what I mean? So until the next time, eat good, live well, stay true. Peace.